I asked
No,
you,
it
what
isn't.
do you, I'm not debating, am I debating with society or am I debating with you?
Wait, what part aren't you
Who am I
understanding?
debating with, society or you? Can you answer my question?
What?
Andrew Wilson absolutely dismantles his opponent's moral framework piece by piece. From the very beginning, Andrew Wilson refuses to let her hide behind vague claims like society says this or we believe that. He pushes her again and again to define her personal stance using her own words, not the crowd's. The debate reaches a boiling point when she completely fumbles trying to explain rule utilitarianism, exposing how shallow her arguments really are. Andrew Wilson delivers a masterclass in logic, exposing contradictions and forcing her to face moral questions she clearly wasn't ready to answer. It's brutal, but honest, and Andrew Wilson stays sharp and locked in the entire time.
What part aren't you
Yeah,
understanding?
so
What
I'm
do you
not
need me
understanding the
to
part about
reiterate?
who, well, here's what I need to reiterate. So since I'm debating with you about whether or not a thing ought be done, I'm debating with
Would you like me
your,
to describe like what
yeah,
my
I'm
moral
sorry, did you
framework
just
is? Is that
ask
what you're
me, did you
confused
just
about?
ask me to give you an answer and then cut me off while I was giving it to you?
Yes.
Okay, so would you like me to give the answer or would you like to go on a diatribe?
I
You
would
tell
I
me.
would like to know if you want me to give you the moral framework that I'm working from. Is that
Yes,
what you Okay, let's
for
go with
harm.
utilitarianism.
Yeah, that's okay. So that would be a harm principle, right?
Yes, and there are obviously
Okay.
harms that we accept within our
Yeah, but
society.
when you say we, I'm not
Hmm.
interested in what we accept. I'm
Oh,
interested in
I am
what the
because I'm interested in
person
reality.
that's great, but I'm interested in what
Hmm.
you accept because I'm debating with you. I'm not debating with a guy
Hmm.
over there. I'm not debating with the moderator. I'm not debating with Steven. I'm debating with Diddley. So Diddley, I'm looking at your view for what is moral, what is immoral. From Diddley's view, is it immoral for two brothers to have sex with each other?
Can we get back onto the
And we
topic
are
about
on the
pornography?
topic.
I've already answered this question.
No, I'm not
Did you
asking
not
from
hear the
your,
first
I
time?
want
Did
to
you
make
not hear the
sure,
first
I
time?
want to make sure it's from
Did
your
you not hear
view.
the first time?
No, because the first time you said society has blah, blah, blah. And then
No,
when it
that was
comes,
about digging up dead
okay.
bodies
And
and
then
fucking them.
that too. Is
I,
that immoral from your view?
if we need to
I
reiterate just to move
already
on,
I already
we can go
stated
back.
it.
No,
Do you
no,
have
you said
hearing issues?
society says
Wait,
blah. I'm asking from Diddley's view, is it
yes,
immoral?
and I agree
Why?
that
Why
that is
would
my
it be
stance on
immoral
it.
from your
I've
view?
already, wait, Ryan, can you, I already explained this, did I not?
No, yeah, no. So listen,
Well, I was gonna say
I'm going to ask you again. If you
if we
just
do
be
need to
quiet for a
reiterate,
second, I'll reiterate the question. I just
okay.
want to know the answer from your view without you shifting it to
That is my view.
society. So, okay, well, I don't know
I
because I
gave
haven't
you
asked
my
the
All right,
view.
just
I haven't
hold on
asked
one
the
second there,
question.
Diddley. We'll let him ask the question,
So
and
I'm going to
then
ask the question.
we'll try
What
to
I'm
answer it.
asking specifically is this: from Diddley's view, not society's view, not Joe's view, not anybody else's view, from the view of a utilitarian harm principle, somebody had a contract from grandma saying he could hump her as much as he wanted after she was dead. Okay. And there was no reason that that would lead to any type of contagion to anybody else. From your view, is that immoral?
Yes.
Why?
As I stated earlier, it is violating the way that we respect the dead.
No, no, no. That's wait. That makes no sense. You're making now an appeal again to we.
Okay, sorry. I
Oh,
I
if I,
respect the
but
dead.
why? There's no harm.
Well, no, I believe that there is.
What's the
Is that
harm? What is it?
that is the harm being done?
What is it? What's the specific harm? What is it?
The specific harm is that you are in complete violation of
Uh,
social contract.
what's wait a second. A social contract. So if
Hmm.
it's a social contract, then again, you're deferring once again over away from your harm principle to some type of societal principle. That's really weird. From
Yeah, so
your
we have
view,
societal rules.
the harm reductionist, you just told me that your moral prism revolves around utilitarianism and harm
Hmm.
reduction. I asked you,
So
what's the
that would
harm?
fall under rule
Yeah, so
utilitarianism.
I asked you what you just read that from your own chat. You couldn't even tell me
I
what
don't
rule
even
you,
have chat
I'll tell you
open.
what, tell me what rule utilitarianism
Wait,
even is.
what?
Tell me what rule utilitarianism even is. Put your hands up before you Google it though, because I know you're Googling. Now tell me
What?
what is rule utilitarianism?
I don't know about y'all, but the second she tried to explain rule utilitarianism, I knew Andrew Wilson had her cooked. Andrew Wilson basically sits back and watches her crash and burn while trying to define something she clearly just Googled. Andrew Wilson kept saying, "You don't even know what you believe." And honestly, he's not wrong here. She sounded like she was freestyling in front of the class with no notes.
So, reducing harm is good, and reducing bad things is good.
You don't know what rule
And that-
utilitarianism is,
no.
do you? Oh,
No, I
okay.
do.
Tell me what it is. What is it?
So, utilitarianism would be like there are certain situations where, for example,
I'm asking
punching
about
someone could be
rule
good.
utilitarianism.
Yes, and
I
I'm
don't care
getting
about
there.
act
Let's-
utilitarianism.
Wait,
answer the
I'm
question
getting.
then.
Can you let me answer the question?
Glad we moved
So,
away from
act
the necrophilia.
utilitarianism
Let's go down this
Is
path.
basically, yeah. Certain situations might call for things that might be morally wrong, could potentially be good. So, for example, killing someone could be good if it turns out that that person grows up to be Hitler. Rule utilitarianism would not be in agreement with this because killing someone is generally always immoral.
What?
Does that
would be
satisfy you-
no. That would be
your
the
answer?
difference between deontology and utilitarianism. It has nothing to do with rule utilitarianism. You gave me a deontological ethic.
This is the part where Andrew Wilson just destroys her, like completely. She thought she was explaining rule utilitarianism, but Andrew Wilson caught her giving a whole different philosophy. And I mean, Andrew Wilson didn't even get heated. He just calmly pointed it out. That's what makes this even more brutal. Andrew Wilson basically exposed that she's arguing with big words she doesn't understand.
What is rule utilitarianism?
Can you describe it for me then?
No, I need you to. You said you're a rule
I just did.
utilitarian. Okay, so to get this right, murder's always wrong.
No.
Okay, well then you're not. What are you talking about?
Wait. What?
You're a rule utilitarianist. You said killing
Yes.
Hitler would always be wrong. Why would killing Hitler always be wrong for you, the rule utilitarianist?
Well, because it would be from the perspective that murder is wrong.
So why is murder wrong?
Because
Even if it reduces harm?
because that's the social contract yet again.
What? What are you talking about?
Can we-
Wait, hang on. I
Can
gotta
we
make sure I
actually
got-
start
This
discussing
is the
porn?
discussion. Right now we're just talking about basic ethical frameworks so we can even get into the debate. I want to ask so just to get this right, you said a rule utilitarian would say against an act utilitarian, you can't go back in time and kill Hitler because that's wrong. Why is that wrong?
Because killing is bad.
Why? Even if it reduces harm?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you are violating someone's personal autonomy,
Even if it reduces
and violating someone's personal autonomy is morally bad.
harm? Okay, why? If it reduces harm to violate autonomy, why would that be bad?
Because violating someone's personal autonomy is like detrimental to their well-being.
Wait a second. If you violated Hitler's personal autonomy, thus killing Hitler, you would save the lives of millions upon millions of people. How's that not the ultimate in harm reduction? You're saying that we shouldn't do that because you would violate his personal autonomy?
Sure.
Okay, well, then if that's the case, then I should never defend myself if I'm being attacked by somebody because that would violate their personal autonomy.
That is not
I do want to jump in
that
there,
is
guys.
not the same thing whatsoever. That would be
Okay, why isn't it?
self-defense.
Well, wait. I'm sorry.
That would be an
isn't
example of
killing-
self-defense.
Isn't killing, but the reason self-defense is good is because it reduces harm to you, the non-aggressor, right? Same thing with killing Hitler. The reason killing Hitler would be good.
Yeah, but someone
because
is like trying to kill you versus someone merely existing in your presence.
I'm going to ask
So you
politely.
wouldn't
I'm going to ask
kill-
Andrew if you can just to really hardcore tie this into the how would you
because
the
she's
meat
making
beaten
moral,
topic that we
because
chose
she's
to make,
asking
all
to
right?
make she's asking to make moral prescriptions for things inside of society as to what is moral, what is not, what is immoral. That's going to be determined, and she brought this up in her opening statement. Said Christians, they have X value, Y value, whatever, right? That's totally fine. It's completely fine for us to establish our foundation for ethics for when we're going to be making moral prescriptions to see if they even make any sense whatsoever. In this particular case, here's what I get from her. She says, hey, I'm a utilitarian, a harm reductionist. I like to, heart reducing harm. Okay, would you go back in time and kill Hitler, which would reduce, I mean, she agrees that that would reduce harm. Answer, No, because that would violate personal autonomy. That makes no sense. It's a conflict.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay, so
Wait, what part of that doesn't make sense to
well,
you?
because then you have a conflicting value that's saying autonomy is actually the principle, which is moral, not harm.
Well, yes, but autonomy is intrinsically linked to harm.
Well, no.
Yes, it
you
is.
can
Taking away people's
definitely-
autonomy and freedoms is harmful.
You can definitely reduce people's freedom, and it could be not very harmful. Like, for instance, should I own a nuclear bomb?
No,
Why not? What about my autonomy?
because
What if I
that
build it
is
in my
a level
backyard?
of harm that's
Alright,
just
we are so
unacceptable.
Wait,
far
wait,
out.
wait. Hang
Hold
on. No, I can't let it go. Why is
we
it
have
me
to, because
opening
it's,
a nuclear
it's a
bomb?
discussion about morality. It's not a
Yeah,
discussion
it's very
about
important.
it-
Well, I'm sorry. You want me to say that I'm going to ban porn based on moral grounds, and yet I can't understand my opponent's morality. Last question. I'll tie it in very quickly. Very quickly. Why can't I own a nuclear bomb?
Because it is a level of harm that we deem unacceptable.
Okay, but we deem it unacceptable. Society does.
Would you prefer if I just said I every time?
Yeah, I'm not debating
I
with
think
we.
I think you perfectly understand what I mean when I say that.
I don't, because
This is just
Because
semantics.
here's what's no. Well, first of all, semantics are super important to a debate. I don't know if you know that or not, because it's clarifying what it is we're talking about. At this point, when we're talking about a nuclear bomb and I own it, you say autonomy is the highest value a person should have because to violate it is to do harm. But then when I say if I have a nuclear bomb, you say that's too much harm for society, so they deem it inappropriate.
Yes,
and so you
because
can't have
your
it.
personal autonomies can't infringe on other people's autonomy. You
Got
can't
it.
just kill anyone you want.
Got it. So our value for morality is actually autonomy then.
So yeah, this debate was honestly one of the clearest examples of Andrew Wilson doing what he does best, cutting through the noise and exposing shallow logic. Andrew Wilson didn't just argue better, he understood her position better than she did. Every time she tried to dance around with vague ideas, Andrew Wilson forced her to either explain it or fold. And in the end, she folded. If you're looking for a straight-up reality check moment, Andrew Wilson delivered it, loud and clear.